people of YouTube, my name is Steve Gray and thank you for watching. Today we are going to be talking about the Rick and Morty Season 5 finale. So this is going to be a review of episode 9 and 10 because they were aired together. So this may be a little bit longer of a review video. Not a lot going on in episode 9, minus Rick and Morty breaking up. It's called Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Or Forgetting Rick Morshall or something along those lines, I believe the title is. And basically the big thing with the first episode is they break up. So let's just kind of dive into one episode at a time here. We'll start with episode 9 and then kind of go towards episode 10, the more important episode of the two. And probably one of my favorite of the season so far. So we start off episode 9 with Morty basically trying to do good for the universe. We learn that Morty has, an empathetic side, and every time that Rick destroys something or messes something up, we don't know how long Morty's been doing this, but he goes back and tries to clean up the mess. We see him stop, some sort of cookie overlord, like a literal cookie. We see him, try to help close up a dam that Rick crashed his ship through. We see him stop a giant lava monster that looks similarly to Rick. I think they did that purposely. They wanted, because obviously we knew before in the previous seasons that him and Gaia had a thing going on. He did a planet. So it is a possibility that that was also Rick's child in the wake of his drunken, crazy adventures. And then Morty realizes that Rick has marked his portal gun, which leads him to add basically Mountain Dew to it, in order to top it off. And I thought it was funny how Rick was like, "You added Mountain Dew to my portal fluid. Do you have any idea how toxic that is? Mountain Dew, come on, Morty." And I thought that was pretty funny because it's a play on how terrible soda and sugary drinks are for you. While yes, they're good from time to time, such as an alcoholic beverage, if you're pounding them down all the time, you're going to destroy your insides slowly but surely. I think that's what they were trying to get at with that. In the process, Morty also ends up spilling a little bit of portal fluid on his hand. And what this ends up doing is connecting him to some guy who we later learn is in some sort of psychiatric ward, because his whole backstory was he met Rick in a bar, saw him do the portal gun, thought Rick was a key to a better life, tried to steal it, got portal fluid on his thigh, and then just became massively clinically depressed because he was never going to be able to find Rick again. He's been using the portal as a garbage dump, basically just throwing all of his trash in there, some sort of hoarder. We get to see this kind of cute little garbage gobbler thing that looks like a crab is the best way to describe it. And Rick's like, "Come on, garbage gobbler, go do it." We later learn out at the end credits of the episode, after the end credits and the little short that they always have, is that Garbage Gobbler is actually a doctor, dude has a PhD, and that he just kind of, fell into it. He's never manned up to Rick to tell him he's something else with his wife, and he has no backbone and just starts doing it again when Summer and the rest of the family call him after they spill garbage on the floor. It's kind of like having a dog. Good, if you've ever owned a dog, they are like little trash cans. You spill food on the floor, pretty much anything on the floor, they are right under your feet to gobble it up. Sometimes cats do that as well, but more dogs so. Moving on, after the whole portal incident, Rick decides that it is time to replace Morty. So he has a wheel. It lands on 2 crows, so he replaces Morty with 2 crows, in which he trains, kind of loses connection with them. You can't, fully get them to commit to him, so he decides to go drop them off on a planet with sentient crows, where they are actually crow people. Basically they're like super evolved crows that kind of turned into like what we are, humans. They talk to each other up on 2 legs. They're not flying anymore, but they still look like giant crazy monster crows with a bunch of crazy technology. So he gets tractor beamed down, and this is where Rick finally realizes how toxic his relationship with Morty has been the entire time. Where, the only reason he was using these crows is to just replace Morty and get over Morty, to show that he can find anybody and anything that is better than Morty. And the crows, kind of called him out on that. And he actually ended up growing to like the crows and befriend them more and more and more, to a point where the crows became kind of his best friends. They actually helped him escape the planet, helped him kill some of the crows that were trying to kill him on the sentient crow planet, and he escaped off into the distance. And that kind of leads us into episode 10, off onto his crow adventures, which we'll get into momentarily. Going back to Morty and the psychotic dude that we ran into, Morty actually ends up visiting him at the ward. They are portal brothers, as they call it. You know, they start off having a fun time, good time. Then he realizes that this guy is more and more and more and more crazy, to which he says, I'm going to get Rick, I'm going to steal that portal gun, and I'm going to kill him. And if you're not with me, you are against me. So they end up battling it out to the point where he was thinking about killing Morty. There was a couple of times where, you know, they actually went to different alien planets in order to try to get more portal fluid, and then which Mr. Crazy Dude started killing a bunch of people. I'm guessing that was the the guest actor. I'm forgetting the guy's name, but I'm guessing that was the voice actor for this particular episode. I don't believe there really was one in episode 10. And again, we'll get to that momentarily. But he starts killing all these aliens, looking for portal fluid, thinking that they have it when they really don't. You know, Morty's just trying to defuse the situation and leave. They get into a giant fight, and that's where he tries to kill Morty, starts strangling him as this train comes by. And I initially thought that the guy was going to die, like Morty was just going to keep walking him forward until he was on the train track, and then he would get ran over by a train, bada bing, bada boom, that was in. No, but there was like an actual legitimate crazy fight going on here. Morty, what he ends up doing is he cuts off his hand, it sprays blood all over the guy. He takes the hand and he throws his hand portal, because he has a literal portal on his hand, into the knee portal of this guy, and it sucks him into each other. He dies. Then we end the episode with Morty getting his hand back, you know, regular hand, and Rick going off adventuring with his crows, and that's the breakup. So if you've ever seen the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall, not exactly the same to a certain extent, but yeah, nice little breakup episode. Honestly, I would have been fine if they did this 2 weeks apart. I'm thankful we got both episodes at the same time. That's kind of neat. You know, it is definitely a two-parter, but I feel like they could have, you know, gave us some ambiance. You know, gave us a little extra wait time, but it is what it is. I'll take them. If you're going to give me 2 episodes in a row, I'm going to watch both episodes in a row. So moving on to episode 10. The finale, the actual final episode of Rick and Morty. We start off with this cool little anime intro. I thought it was really interesting. And, you know, Rick is just off doing all these crazy adventures with a crow. This is called Rick and Morty Jack. And evidently there is a war between owls and crows, or at least that's what they created. So Rick is just out there with all this crazy crow technology and his 2 crows killing all of these owls in this never-ending owl war. And then Morty just progressively shows up. Like he clearly wants to get back together with Rick. He is saddened about it, to the point where he ages himself up. He goes to the Citadel, makes himself look 40 and sad and depressing, in which Rick starts feeling bad for him initially at first, but isn't like 100% on board. And then we later find out that the crows were actually a previous team member of this scarecrow dude, to the point where they actually made love. Like the scarecrow made love to the crows, which is kind of really weird and gross, but that's how they did it. And Rick was like, oh crap, the crows are breaking up with me. They want to go back to this guy instead. They love him. I guess I'll go get back together with Morty. So then we go to the Citadel. In which we de-age Morty. So there isn't an actual way to de-age them, so they literally cut them in half into pieces, and then we get a 14-year-old and a 26-year-old. The 26-year-old was like, is everybody noticing me? Is everybody noticing me? Kind of like your stereotypical millennial who's trying to make it big on social media. I thought that was kind of pretty funny, doing like the vlog videos, things along those lines. And then immediately gets shot. So yeah, it gets shot pretty quickly, so it resolves itself, and he doesn't have to then take care of a 14-year-old Morty and a 26-year-old Morty. At this point, we get some canon stuff going on as evil Morty figures out that Rick, C-137, which is our Rick, invites him to dinner. And Morty was like, oh, cool. You know, we get to see the President Morty. This will be, you know, like it's an honor, things along those lines. So they want to go and see Evil Morty, in which Rick tries to kill Evil Morty. Doesn't work, has a shield. Obviously, Evil Morty is very, very smart. And basically he wants to scan Rick's brain, or the rest of it. So Rick's brain has been scanned a few times before. To about his knowledge, they actually have the bulk of it. So it only really takes him about 30 seconds to fully scan Rick's brain and get what he wants. What we learn is that Rick C-137 actually helped design the Citadel, and they put kind of an armored blanket around infinite universes where Rick is the smartest person. I believe the quote was like, the world's biggest crib around the world's biggest baby, is what Evil Morty said and mentioned it. And basically the Citadel is kind of a giant Morty breeding factory, because we know how Ricks feel about Mortys. We know how important Mortys are to Ricks. So they just keep breeding them over and over and over again, which Rick evidently admits is true to Morty to a fault of his own. And then, Morty is like, is this true? Know what's happening. Tell me these things. And then he's like, fine, you really want to know? You really want to know about my backstory? He takes the data that was all uploaded from Rick's brain scan and injects it into Morty. And then we get Rick's rather sad and depressing backstory, where we now understand how he is the way he is. So I believe it was season 3 that we learned that Rick's wife and Rick's Beth both died in the explosion. We weren't sure. We figured that Beth survived until later this season. We learned that no, neither one of them survived, and he's actually with a completely different family at this point in time. And the backstory is, after that happened, he set his own goal to find the Rick that killed his family. He actually had a picture of that Rick in order to seek out his revenge on his dead wife and dead daughter. So he just goes around killing himself over and over and over again, using this picture to scan their faces, and he can never find the right one. And he's just killing thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of Rick over and over and over again, and he cannot find the Rick that ultimately killed his wife. So he just gets more and more and more depressed, starts drinking. We get to see the Battle of Blood Ridge in there, where he meets Bird Person, as we got that part of the backstory as well. He gets, starts getting into drugs more and more heavily. And then he gets bored, designs the Citadel at a certain point in time as a way to get all of the Ricks together to possibly find the Rick that he wants to kill. We see them, saying, oh, they're going to make a plan to kill him. He jumps through a portal, ends up killing a whole bunch of Ricks, and that's where we're at now. So his entire life basically has been wasted, past the point of him not being able to get his revenge. So he's kind of stuck in an infinite loop himself, because yes, he is the smartest person in the universe, but he cannot move on. At this point, it's been probably, I don't know, we're going to say 40 to 60 years, roughly. We don't know how old Rick was at the time that he had Beth. And he's still out there trying to find the Rick that killed his wife, which we might get that reconciliation at some point, but not this season. Either that, or it's a possibility that Rick died this season. Because what happens shortly after that is, Evil Morty undoes everything. He's going to create basically a giant black hole that kills all the Ricks. It's killing every single Rick. Every time they go into a portal, it opens up to like the Blender dimension, or a dimension where there's like some sort of crazy model. He's hacked every single Rick's portal gun remotely, so you can't leave the Citadel. You're going to die there. A lot of them have Operation Phoenix, which is, you kill yourselves and then you're reanimated into a tube. But that tube is now reanimated to the Citadel, which has a blender, and grinds them up, overloading the core, exploding the Citadel. So now that infinite loop with that infinite crib is now broken. The Citadel is actually completely gone. Evil Morty is in some sort of fourth dimension thing. We see him with a golden portal gun. Instead of a green bubble, it's more of a yellowish golden bubble. And he just kind of goes into it, and we have no idea what the next task or step is for Evil Morty. He might be done. He might have completed his task, and we may never see Evil Morty again, or if the creators feel like bringing Evil Morty back, they may bring him back at some point in time. Rick and Morty C-137 and whatever Morty we're on now I believe they escaped with a bunch of Rick and Mortys that looked like freaking Gollum from Lord of the Rings. They were the ones that were running the Citadel in the basement for a long point in time. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. You know, Evil Morty got his way. As far as we know, C-137 and Morty are still alive for the foreseeable future. Oh yeah, Jerry turned into a puddle at one point in time, so there's that. Summer, Beth, everybody really wasn't in Jerry, besides turning into a puddle, wasn't really in the episode at that much, you know, too much for those two episodes. And I don't believe there was really too much after that either. After episode 10, I'm trying to remember what the after credits were, and I don't think they did it. Might have just been a season finale, or I'm having a brain fart. I was trying to find the episodes online again to get screenshots for this, but who knows. So that's pretty much where we're at. Excellent episode. Episode 9 is going to get a 7 out of 10. Episode 10 is going to get a 9 out of 10. Now we're going to give it a 10 out of 10. It was an excellent episode. Great backstory. Probably the best episode of the season. I know a lot of people were kind of hating on the season. We know there's going to be several more seasons. I believe it was after season 2 they confirmed 70 episodes. We are now on 50-something, 52, 53, somewhere around there. So we got at least 2 seasons left in a minimum. I expect to see a lot more. I thoroughly enjoy the show. My thought was that Rick got a taste of his own medicine. I'm hoping, and it's also a good point for the creators to do a reset. So now they stopped getting bugged about all the canon stuff. They don't have to deal with it anymore. You got your resolution, and now they can go back on classic, random Rick and Morty adventures. Hopefully, Pickle Rick will make an appearance again, maybe. Maybe we'll get some Szechuan sauce back at McDonald's at some point in time. I thought that was, like, why would they not do that? Nobody really commented on that giveaway. I got one person from the United Kingdom that commented on my giveaway that I did, I think after episode 1 or 2, I had 4 packets of Szechuan sauce. So yeah, I mean, at that point, this is closed. It's pretty much closed. So maybe I'll get you your packet of Szechuan sauce. I'll see if I can figure that out for you, how to ship internationally to England to get you your packet, because you were the only one that commented on it. So thank you for doing so. It's closed right now. So, as I said, I was going to the last season. This is the last episode. I was going to do a video that was all about all of the winners, but because not enough people commented on it, it didn't bump my subscribers as much as I thought it was going to. That'll just be all she wrote. I got 3 more at least. If I do give the one away, I'll have 3 more, so maybe I'll do something else in the future. But let me know what else you want me to review. I need a new show, either that or I can continue doing some random meme videos which seem to get decent views. So, yeah, it's all right. My name is Steve Gray. This is where we're going to end it. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, and feel free to comment down below what you want to see for future cartoon and anime-related videos. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.